I get it. Albaka.
Mbaka important.
Yo, nga transfer la sto.
Ya transfer la sto.
Ha, code nyenji.
Okay.
What's
Nsila ID soto.
Sa soto. Sorry. I get it.
Bijan bro.
Albaka.
Mbaka.
Bara alla service o tariya.
Mbare.
Mo ki janna nun kunu bara tariya.
Jannom yona forest de bureau. Gambia tonkon na no mbari ya bere. Birim koyna fo kato.
Bari si kodo kino kato nim fo bolong blabe to.
56 branches mola sota Gambia jam.
Ha?
Gambia kono anin Gambia bantala bankol. Nka kodo kiya bere to. Kodo sifa fo falindiro fo nyaadi lafta memmen na kodi to poto nin kodi maraw. Jannom number 1 di nyonta. Andum fana nata anoda enterprise sotale. Wolam nyindi ko domorol fana kol fana be firale de dadi ma nin domorol dir fana beteat. Gambia dawda yalo ma fa kendol sotale je.
Wo moyo diat.
Apelenta
ni wo ka ni lafta nyelen kendol e binaji.
Yalo bu kanyi la ko la baraka ba.
Yalo ndel chosano lo.
Abaraka.
Remind him that the last time he sent the money, it was not enough to buy all the provisions.
Oh, sorry, I forgot to tell him.
Are you guys talking about money transfer to buy provisions?
Yes.
But don't you know about Baluwo?
Baluwo? What is Baluwo?
Baluwo is a service that your son can use to send provisions directly to you guys from the shop. And you don't have to worry about the exchange rate.
Tell me how Baluwo works.
It's very simple.
Just log on to baluwo.com and shop, or download the app on your phone. You can shop on the website or using the app to buy online basic products for your family and friends. With Baluwo, you decide what your money is spent on. Your money, your choice. Buy online products for your family and friends in the Gambia, Senegal, Nigeria or Mali. Baluwo, better than sending money.
For the first time in the history of the Gambia Printing Publishing Corporation proudly introduces the Biliomatic exercise book printing machine. The machine has the capacity to print more than 20,000 books per hour. Yes, 20,000 books per hour. It also prints magazines, newspapers, calendars, flyers, normal books and all kinds of printed documents plus items at affordable prices. With the Biliomatic printing machine, GPPC can now render high-quality and non-size restricted printing service supply across the sub-region. Rush now and partner with GPPC for all your public and private printing service needs. Print with us today and you'd be offered highly professional, reliable and efficient service delivery by our team of experts. The Gambia Printing and Publishing Corporation is here to meet all demands and is reliable at all times. For more info, contact us on 437-4493 or 437-4402. GPPC is Gambian and it's yours.
welcome to the Brunch on Kerr Fatou Live. I'm Lamin Cham, and this is our weekly current affairs program that comes your way from these studios every Saturday. This week, we will continue with the discussion on the decision of President Macky Sall of Senegal, who announced he is not going to be a candidate in the 2024 elections. Of course, the period leading to this announcement was marred by protest arguments and counter-arguments among Senegalese and even Africans and others concerned about politics in Africa. Last week, Macky Sall said, even though he thinks that the constitution still allows him to run, but for the interest of strengthening democracy, he is bowing out of the contest for 2024. We will discuss in the studio what are the ramifications, both politically and security-wise, for the region, particularly the Gambia, which is almost entirely surrounded by Senegal. And with me in the studio to do that is, on my far right, if you can now see in the cameras, Sheriff Samsidin Sarr, security expert, former commander of the Gambia Armed Forces, who follows a lot of political and security developments in the region and elsewhere. Seth Matijau, a member of the civil society and also political science lecturer at the University of the Gambia, is with us. He will bring his perspectives to the Senegal situation and its implications in West Africa, particularly, of course, the Gambia. I also have the presidential advisor for political affairs at State House, Sheikh Umbalo, Honorable. He is with us and he will give us his perspectives, or that of the Gambia government, in terms of how the decision relate or not related to the Gambian situation. So, gentlemen, all of you, welcome to the Brunch.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you.
Good. Samsar, when you were here last time, you said you will reserve your opinion until you hear which way Macky Sall will take. Will he run or he will not run? Now that Macky Sall has said he's not going to run, and you've been a keen follower of the Senegalese situation now, what is your take? Has Macky Sall been pressured through protests and other criticisms to go this way, or do you think he was sincerely not going to run since from the beginning? And what do you think his decision could have, if he had made decision earlier, as his opposition are claiming, could that have solved a lot of problems that Senegal have experienced in the recent past?
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Macky, Professor, and Mr. Mbalo. I see you guys today. Yes, Mr. Cham, coming to your question, I want to say that I was on edge all the time, not sure, like many people, as to whether Sall will say yes or no. Because at some point, that is what he was echoing everywhere, that regardless of the fact that he has repeatedly said that he was not going to run for a third time in his first term, and even wrote it in his book, that he was not going to run for a third term. After 2019, he was vague when asked about the question of a third term. And that brought a lot of doubt over whether he would do it or not. And of course, and again, his gestures in the government, they have said that most of the members of his government who hinted to him that third term is impossible were withered, including Mimi Toure.
Okay.
So that was also a sign of the fact that he was not tolerant. He was allergic to anybody saying that a third term is not acceptable. Really? Those who said third term is good were promoted, just like what Jawara did after his
91 declaration.
91.
It was December 91.
Claimed that I'm going to run, and then they say, oh, don't go. Everybody who celebrated is going.
We are eliminated.
We are eliminated, victimized, punished. And those who say you should stay, especially those who were crying, were promoted and so on. Right. A gesture that did not show sincerity.
Exactly.
So at some point, people question his sincerity about this, regardless of everything he has said. Up to the last minute.
Okay.
Everybody was on edge that, oh, he's going to go for a third time. But I was one of the first to say, congratulations. I made an audio congratulating him, saying that, I slept that night because I was on edge that he was going to go for a third time bid, and it may not be very good in Senegal and all over the world, especially in the diaspora, you know. But when you talk about the problems of Senegal lately, that it might have emanated from that, I would put a question mark over that, because nothing about third term brought any chaos in Senegal. As a matter of fact, members of PASTEF were saying that if he runs for a third term, as long as he allows Sonko to go, they will win him.
Okay.
And polls have also indicated that Sonko can win them if he is allowed to contest.
But there is a group like this M23 who are hell-bent on fighting against any third term.
Third term, yes. But then they are not as volatile and as active as the members of PASTEF and the followers.
So you want to believe that rather than this third term problem, it was the problem with Sonko that brought the chaos?
That's it. Because to be honest with you, I did not even know who Sonko was until the Ajisar case erupted.
No, Sonko was presidential candidate.
Yeah, I know, but that was the first time I heard about Sonko. Sonko, Ajisar, I said, who the heck is this guy? That's the time I started following him and following the story behind Ajisar, because the eruption was unprecedented and never seen in Senegal before, where how many people died, how many properties were destroyed. And that was because what happened to Karim Wade and Khalifa Sall was about to happen to Sonko, because all of them were just taken to jail. No followers came out to support them or say, oh, stop. But when Sonko was taken there, people were not even aware until 3 days after that, hey, Sonko has been taken for a frivolous charge. And that is when Senegal erupted to a point where it almost brought down Sall's regime. And in fact, the Grand Marabout had to intervene, call Sonko, get him released, to talk to the people, to stand down. And he came and said, no, stand down. We are not going to remove this government by force. Let's accompany him to 2024. We can win him in the elections. And that's what really tranquilized the situation. But then what followed up was, well, we are preparing, nothing like this will happen. There was a theory like, it is COVID, there is no wrestling, the youths are idle. Next time when we touch Sonko, nothing will happen. And then the second round came, where only a verdict was read on a case that is really questionable. Because you can't charge me and take me to court on a particular case like rape and threatened by weapon, and then ended up convicting me on something that we have never talked about in the courts.
Absolutely.
And that is what, brought back the sentiment of injustice. Because it is not about Sonko calling people violently. It's like when justice is not served, peace cannot be maintained.
Good. So, given that, let me just fast forward. Sonko, okay, he's given this custodian sentence of 2 years on this charge that you believe was when they just went on a fishing expedition to get something to hook him.
Yes.
Everybody suspected that Macky's intention was only to stop him from running.
Yes.
That's why they got up with a charge that was never existed before.
Yes.
But now that they have sentenced him, up to now he's in his house.
Yes. Because
he's not been taken to prison.
Again,
why do you think that's...
Let me just finish my thought here. Because, now there is another theory emerging from the fact that Macky has stated in an interview that the only reason he will try to come back to power is if the country becomes unstable. If it is rendered unstable, he is going to come back and try to stay. He said that, number one. Number two, in his statement,
who said that? Who said so and where?
No, it has been.
Did he actually say?
I follow Senegalese TV consistently. And they even quoted the...
I followed where he said he didn't want the country to be
rendered ungovernable.
To fall in the wrong hands.
Yeah, but I understand
that
he
one
said
I
that
heard it, and I
the
saw it.
possibility of him coming back will be predicated on the country being rendered ungovernable.
Where did he say that? With TV or with radio station?
I was listening to.
We want to say
I was listening to Senegalese discussing it even yesterday.
So it couldn't be an opinion
because we can always follow.
Trying to interpret.
Where is head of state who say that? Where?
No, apparently, like they all agree. The team, it's Al Jazeera.
Yeah.
They all agree that he said that.
Okay.
And number two, let me just clear this again. Another thing is, I will even get you the website and I will forward it to you. Give me your WhatsApp. I will forward you and you listen to what I'm saying, Malo.
Okay.
And the second thing is, all Senegalese are saying that the constitution definitively does not allow him to run for a second term.
He thought otherwise.
Third term.
Yeah.
But he has argued that the constitution still allows him to run.
Yeah.
And that they say that is the window of coming back. He could have made it a little bit more acceptable if he had said, look, I am not going to run because the constitution doesn't allow me. That is to settle all minds, that there wouldn't be any dubious thing there. Number two, we have 700 prisoners in the jails. I'm going to release them for
political prisoners.
Yes.
Political detainees and prisoners.
Yeah, for reconciliation.
Yeah.
And fourthly, this embargo, barricading of Sonko's residence,
I will lift it. Yeah.
I'm going to lift it.
Okay.
And last and not the least is the blockade of transportation, especially commerce and all those things of Casamance should be lifted. Because the Casamasians are crying now that all their fruits, you see how Gambia is saturated with mangoes?
Mangoes and other things.
All the mangoes that used to go to Dakar are rotting up in the in Sigansor's port because vessels are not allowed to go to Dakar with the traders. So, all these combined send a signal that he has left a window of coming back, because somehow sooner or later the judges are going to say, yes, it's time to grab Sonko. And when that happens, what happened the first and second time would happen again.
And then Macky will come back.
And that will be the chaos that will allow him to step in and say, well, you see, I cannot allow the country to go this way. I'm coming back. And again, he has not come out with any successor.
Yeah.
They're talking about Amadou Ba. Amadou Ba, as much as they are also talking about Abdoulaye Dawda Jallow as another candidate, and also there is this Job, all of them, none of them was presented as a possible successor. He could have brought his successor that day when he was...
No, he probably couldn't, because the party must go through a process. Perhaps.
No, but you see the party, what is the party saying now?
APRC,
the party is saying that we only depend on you to choose us a leader. Whoever you choose, we are going to follow him.
The supreme leader.
Yeah, that's what they are saying.
I see.
So he could have brought that thing that day, sit the person, the possible, and say, he's the prime minister. And say, follow this guy. He's my prime minister. But they're talking about the guy who is in the National Assembly, the president. Abdoulaye Dawda Jallow, and there is also Job, there is also Diouf Sarr. All of them are vying, and they are not getting along very well.
So, but then of course, I think that would be very much the business of his party, rather than himself choosing. Because if he had left power around now, tomorrow, then you can talk about Amadou Ba succeeding him or something. But he's still going to complete the mandate. So the guy who's going to succeed him in the party is what you are talking about. He has not prepared that.
Thank you.
Probably
8 months before election,
yeah,
they're talking about the preparation of a successor. If you look at it across the sub-region,
yeah, I'm trying to say
they're talking about 2 years preparation.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to say that he could not have bring somebody from his party on that national address, because obviously he was not leaving that day. He was going to.
No, but then preparation for who they are going, because 6 months, 8 months to campaign to start.
I know, but even if he had announced his, even if he announced his choice, he would have only been able to do so from his party. And that will be left to the Senegalese people to choose. But anyway, you are trying to suggest that Macky still has left a window
of coming back,
of coming back or putting his heart in the ring again.
Yes.
And he's very much opposed to people like Sonko.
Yes.
Possibly coming to be
everybody
candidate.
is saying that he's going to grab Sonko sooner
But he has
later.
not. He has still not.
And if he does,
Yeah.
that's going to be chaotic.
Okay. All right. So
And that's the chaos.
Yeah.
That nobody. we still
I
don't
agree.
know.
I agree. Of course, a lot of people said he should have gone further now to further de-escalate tension by extending amnesty to all the political detainees and convicted ones. People said he should go further to do that. That will ensure that everybody, the whole chapter is gone, everybody be allowed to be free to contest. Everybody said that should be his second move. You are right. There is still unfinished business as far as his position is concerned. Let me come to Seth Macky. Listening and following all these scenarios in Senegal, what do you think is the importance of Macky's decision?
I think, before going further, I'm happy to be back here to see Sam and Mr. Mbalo. I think for me, Macky's decision basically comes from sustained efforts by the civil society and other opposition, and even the sub-region to keep reminding him of the need for time limit. Because, for me, there is nothing new in this conversation about Macky, because he came to power at a point when this was the conversation, and he was, put forward and elected so that he could make those kind of changes.
He was, in fact, the one chosen.
Yes, exactly. So, and then in 20, I think, after in his first term, he also decided that he respect time limit. He even changed the constitution. And like you went through a process with a population, with people, they go through the process, they agree with you. And then until a final moment when it's your time to leave, you don't want to leave. So for me, I think the current decision, is welcome. But of course, it's the right thing to do. Given the context, because the Senegalese were not going to allow him to go freely. We've seen the various indicators that had happened. But for me also, this is very good for the sub-region, because I remember in 2021, in November or August, I was part of a technical expert group from West Africa that were brought together in Ghana for 2 days to review the supplementary protocol on good governance. And one of the main issues that was highlighted for us to look at was the issue of time limit. So even at the commission level itself, ECOWAS was pushing for this agenda. But when it got to the heads of state, we got to know that Senegal was one of the opposing countries.
Exactly.
To support that time limit. But initially in 2015-16, we were talking about Gambia. So the fact that Senegal today, Macky has announced, I think this gives has allowed. It's
a big relief.
It's a big relief for ECOWAS itself. Because Senegal is not a small country within the region. It's an important player. It's an important player, and not only an important player, but one that has been seen as the champion of democracy. And today, with a democratically elected president wanting to change the constitution, and already ECOWAS has experienced that in Guinea and other places. I think there's a big relief. And so for me, I think generally Senegalese want time limit, just like in many other places like Gambians, like others, and that is what the politicians need to respect. This is the wishes of the people, and that this is what they want. They don't own the constitution. It's the people that own it. If the people say, this is what we want, I think politicians should go by that.
You think it has implications for Gambia? I forgot to ask Sam that. We will come to him. Do you think it has implications for the Gambia? Already, we've seen that pressure has been put on Barrow to do as Macky. But his officials, including Barrow, had said the two are not related. So, what's your take on that?
Well, I think in terms of country, we have different laws. That's given. But for me, I think this issue of time limit within our constitution. That's why I've been shouting everywhere, so that we can change the constitution. Based on the current constitution, I don't see any sort of implication. But outside the legal framework, it is what the people want. You look at Afrobarometer survey, for instance. If you compare the wishes of the people of Senegal and of Gambia, you see that generally the population want time limits. These are issues that they want. They want, they reject one-party rule. They reject one-man rule. So there's that desire for term limits. So the implication now is that Gambia could be isolated again. During Jammeh's time, Gambia was basically isolated with Togo. So now Gambia is back to the same conversation again. That of course you need term limit. So we are back to the same drawing board. But for me, I think the solution for us is just changing the constitution.
Mr. Mbalo, welcome.
Thank you.
First of all, what's been your personal? Of course, your government and President Barrow himself had congratulated President Macky Sall for the decision. But how did the Gambia government and yourself view the decision of Macky Sall not to run? How it has helped? How do you think it can help stabilize the tensions that were there? And what do you think to pressure now mounting from Gambians and even outside for President Barrow to follow suit?
Well, thank you, Mr. Cham, for inviting me here. I say thank you to Samsar, my brother Samsar, said Marty. This is the first, I can say this is the first time meeting them on a panel to discuss about our democracy.
Yeah.
And I must confess that I am very happy that this country democratization process is going in the right direction, because this is exactly where people like me, you, Panderimbai, and others who were for a long time advocating this country to restore genuine democracy and respect for the fundamental rights. This is why we were fighting for. And thank God today,
we achieved that.
If we are here just discussing about a term limit, not discussing about 100 people are detained, we don't know where they are detained, 10 people are in prison for 1 year, 2 years, Mr. Cham, definitely I'm very happy.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I have completed my mission to make sure that I am outside in exile has been accomplished. Even if I retire today, I would say that really I did something that Gambians can move. Let them keep moving.
In a good point.
Well, let me first start with the Senegalese issue. With the Senegalese issue, I would congratulate Macky Sall.
Okay.
He has done the right thing. Because if you look at, holistically, if you look at how Macky Sall came into power in 2012, his elections with Abdoulaye Wade, it's because of almost the same scenario of this term limiting. Macky Sall, a lot of people asked him to respect the Abdoulaye Wade to respect the constitution, and there were so many riots, so many problems. The opposition rallied behind Macky Sall, if you can remember. That is what pushed him, and he emerged the winner of that elections. And Macky Sall, after coming into power, after winning the elections, the presidential term was 7 years, if I can recall.
Yes.
And he said, listen, that is too much.
Exactly.
He reduced it.
Yeah.
He decreased it to 5 years.
Yes.
He did a good thing also, because what people were thinking, 7 years, 14, is almost like, going and going.
It's a lifetime, yeah.
So he did the right thing.
Yeah.
Now that he came into this thing and there were so many problems, I would not agree with my friend, with my brother, that what happened to Sonko, is this and that, because Senegal democracy has always been very strong.
What do you mean by is this and that? I did not understand.
It seems as they are not they are not following due process.
No, I did not say that.
In Sonko's case, in Sonko, the way I might be.
Correct me if I am wrong. Just go ahead. Yes, just go.
Because I want to correct that.
No, listen to him first. You'll come back.
Maybe I don't understand. I was following the case. But if somebody accuses you, even everywhere, even Gambia here, if a lady accuses Umbalo that you did something to me, definitely the lady should be listened to. If you have a serious government, that's everywhere. If a lady says Umbalo has been taking me, doing this thing to me, pulling a gun, doing this to me, please, let us not disregard what the lady. For me, I respect women.
Okay.
In any democratic setup, the lady came out that Sar. What's the name?
Sonko.
No, the lady.
Ajisar.
Ajisar say she had this affair with this man.
She was raped.
He was raped first.
By force with guns.
So you are, yeah, that's
Just wait.
You are saying.
According to what we are all discussing, what because we are not there, I was not there.
No,
I would not say she is lying.
What the court case?
Now listen
the
to
court
him.
case. The
We'll
charges
come
are-
to him. We'll come to
She
him.
raped him. She raped her using guns. Menace de la mort.
No, but you see,
And-
let him allow me.
Welcome.
I think that was the court did a good thing. I think that was expunged.
Yeah.
The rape was expunged.
It was-
if I am not mistaken.
No, Sonko was, acquitted of
Acquitted.
that.
Acquitted
Of rape.
Exactly.
And threatening violence.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
But he was, however, he was convicted of
On corrupting the mind.
on corrupting the mind of youth
Yeah.
and other things.
No,
So,
not only that.
so how can I question the judiciary, Senegalese judiciary
No,
system?
I'm not questioning
No,
it.
he's not. He's
No,
not.
but I
No,
mean,
what I'm saying is,
yes,
if I take you to court
Yes.
for stealing my property,
yes,
and we go to the court, and the whole court case was stealing my property, up to the last minute, they dismissed the case that Sam did not steal your property. But the judge can find something that he wears something that looks like a stealer.
yeah.
I'm gonna convict him for that. That's similar to what we're talking about. That's the analogy here. They took him for court for rape and threatening with weapon, and the whole court case for the past 2 years was that. And at the end of the court, the judge said there is nothing credible about this. I have dismissed everything.
Yes.
But, let me find something to convict him of. And the best thing that suits my mind is corrupting the youth. The last person who has ever been convicted of corruption of the youth was, do you know who? Socrates. That's 4000 BC. Nobody in this world has ever been convicted of that charge. So that is what angered the population. Just like what happened in France now. It was not just a matter of Nair M being shot, but continuous police brutality
against minority.
against minority and blacks
Okay.
that exploded
Let
the
me-
population.
let me
I
learn.
understand that
So
point.
we understand that
he's
point.
He's also trying to say that the lady's claim, it was really good to hear from her.
Exactly.
Yes.
It's good that the judiciary system listened
was
to the
good that
lady.
it
But,
had
can I
gone-
observe one thing there, Tehu?
Yes.
That when the case was brought before the police and the medical board that really checked the rape
Lady.
is always confirmed by medical document.
Yeah.
Yes.
The medical
An observation.
document said there is no rape.
There has not been any penetration.
The,
so to speak.
the gendarmerie captain Toure said there was no rape, and this thing shouldn't be taken to court.
But it went to court anyway.
But they said still, we are going to arrest him. You at least give him the benefit of the doubt. We're going to arrest him, put him in jail, and take him to court. And that was the first eruption in March 2021.
Okay, let's
That
move.
they took him to
Okay,
jail
now.
for
Now,
3
okay,
days.
okay,
Yeah.
now.
No, let's move on now.
Okay.
We were discussing
I am following
how
this
is
so
the
religiously.
case. Yeah, how is the case going to affect or not affect the situation in the Gambia? Because already people, including Gambians and even people, observers outside, have put their voice to the fact that President Barrow should follow suit, even though there is an arrangement to bring a constitution with 2 terms, but they want him to use his magnanimity to consider his present term as a second term.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Cham. I think with the question of how the case went, it would be irrelevant here because they have their judiciary system and they have done what they feel like doing and they think that is the correct thing to do. That is taking the matter to court, Sar and Sonko, beyond reasonable doubt, and whatever conviction that comes out of it. For me, I respect the rule of law. I am a Democrat. And whatever that decision is, unless it is torn by the higher court, I will respect it, even here.
Senegalese are very democratic.
But you know,
Senegalese are very democratic.
So I will not discuss about that aspect of what happened. Let's discuss about the aspect of, the implications of these 2 terms, 3rd term, and
In
so on
Gambia
and so
and
forth,
West
and
Africa.
Gambia and West Africa.
Okay.
Well, Mr. Cham, here in the Gambia, President Barrow is somebody who is very mindful of our democracy, and he wants to make sure that the foundation he is building, freedom of speech, freedom of movement, freedom of association, is respected and it prevails. I think so.
He is excellent on that.
I think he will not want anybody, whether himself or anybody, to hamper that. He wants to leave a good legacy in this country so that the future generation will enjoy it. We, the advisors, also want to promote that because with our experience, we would not like our kids, Gambian kids, to suffer the fate that we suffered in the past. We don't want this. We don't want to be associated with anything that Gambian would point at us and say Seumbalo and others brought about all this confusion in this country.
Indeed.
That being the case, Senegal and Gambia issue is not the same.
How is it not the same?
Gambia, in our constitution, even in the first republic, 1970 constitution, there was no term limit in there.
It was not a popular fashion at that time. It was
no, I'm just coming. I'm just coming. Okay. I'm giving you the historical background of what is happening now about this term limit and thing. Yeah. We are evolving the whole world. Yeah. It's a generational issue now. If you see we are talking about term, we go in the next generation they are going to talk about something else. Isn't it?
Maybe one term.
Exactly, it might be one term. So, or running mate. It's going to come. Okay. So, but at this present moment, that is the talk of the town. That is the issue, generally. So, Gambia, in the first republic, there was no term limit. The second republic, 1997 constitution, there is no term limit. Barrow came and found this constitution there. Unfortunately, a constitution was drafted, which was killed at the National Assembly, the body that is responsible for enhancing laws. They are the right people to either to push things to go or not to push things. It died down there. Still now, the president came and said to the Gambians that I promise I will bring this. I will bring about a new constitution. Let me just come. Let him give me a chance.
Go ahead. Yeah, of course.
It's getting hot a little bit.
Let's go. It will be cooler.
Yeah. That I'm going to get you a constitution, either a new constitution, a revive of the constitution. He has promised that, and he has given the minister of justice team to work on that. They are working on that. So in that aspect, it's okay. For the term that he has served, that is 2016 to 21, that he came about as a transitional president. He was backed by PPP, backed by UDP, backed by NCP, backed by all these political parties, and also people who were not partisan, in fact. But they wanted a change, democratic change. I think that's what happened. That's what happened. Yeah. So now he served that to bring about these reforms, to bring about reforms. I mean, that reform does not only entail on the constitution. It entails on human rights and other issues, freedom, of all these things. And we have seen what is happening now.
So you want to say that term should not be counted as a term?
That's not the issue here. You know, we are not talking about that's the issue that he is going beyond 2 term or 3 term or 4 term. But what I'm telling you is to make it very clear, the term during his transition period,
2017 and 2021.
That I think anybody who is drawing the new constitution, when it comes up, I think it will reflect there. That from 2021, because Barrow now, he's a president on the political party, he has his party. It's not that every Gambian brought him to bring about this change.
The issue is what we want to declare and what ECOWAS and what people, advocates of 2 terms are saying. And that's what happened in Senegal, that's the argument in ECOWAS. That's what he's talking about, is that ECOWAS Commission is recommending that every human being must stop at only 2 terms. Whether you were backed by a coalition,
no, that is not
whether
stated.
You were a transition.
That is not stated. I have looked at that.
I'm saying the recommendation. I'm not saying they stated by law.
Okay.
The recommendations they made.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
was they wanted technical group. The technical group. They wanted a West Africa.
Yes.
Where every human being, any human being who comes to power in any nation within these 15 member states, would serve only 2 terms.
Yes.
It doesn't matter whether you were backed by a coalition or whether your first mandate was a transition.
Yeah.
They just say, just like in America, if it is Joe Biden, he cannot go 2 terms. Obama cannot. It's a human being who's elected.
That is in their constitution.
I know that's the constitution.
Yes.
But ECOWAS is recommending such. And that is what they recommend for all their member states. Now, people are asking,
yes,
even though we do not have a constitution right now which stipulates 2 terms,
yes,
but we indeed have a human being as a president,
yes,
who served between 2017 and 2022. The people who are advocating for 2 terms want him to be magnanimous, as put by the ECOWAS Political Affairs Chairman, want him to be magnanimous to consider this present term as a second term, no matter how and when the Constitution has a 2-term mandate.
Well, that is, I mean, like I said during my previous interview with the Standard, I think a few days ago.
Yeah.
I mean, that is left to
President
the president himself.
Yeah. But
you know, the people can only vote for you, but it's left to you.
If you are
even today, if President Adama Barrow decide that enough is enough, I'm tired, I'm going to quit, no, we will not stop it.
If you are going to,
and let me learn.
If you are going to do your work,
yes,
as presidential advisor on political affairs,
yes,
in the wake of the Senegalese situation,
yes,
what would you tell the president?
I would tell him to work with the Gambian people. That is very important, the electorate. Let me tell you, even whereas now the president goes in for re-election,
yeah,
if the people choose not to elect him, they will not elect, he will lose. We have seen that.
Eventually, yes.
Yes. What happened to Abdoulaye Wade? He was voted out. What happened to Jammeh? Was he not voted out?
Yes.
It's left to the people. Now people don't want violence, but they have a way of changing their government.
You would advise Barrow to consult the people.
Consult the people.
Not just his party.
To consult the Gambian people.
Gambian people.
Yes.
And listen to like Macky did or
something. But I
hold a national dialogue, if you like,
yes,
and ask about the pulse of the people about on 3rd terms. But you said eventually the decision as to whether to consider this present term as 2 terms depends on President Barrow. Of course.
It's left to his prerogative.
Yeah.
Yes, he's the president. He's the one elected.
Yes.
He is the one the Gambian people have confidence upon, and they put him in power. Now it is left to him to say, listen, now this is the situation. I'm not going to contest anymore. If he can say that, I'm not going to contest. Or after serving 3 years, I'm going to quit because I'm tired, or for short reason, or this and that reason, I'm going to quit. Nobody would stop him.
Okay.
But it is not for the advisors to get up and go against the wishes of the people. Power belongs to the people. The people elected him here.
So you will advise him to consult the
Look
people,
at what is happening.
even if he wants to.
Look at what is happening now. We have ECOWAS. We respect ECOWAS, and we are part of ECOWAS. We want to support what they are doing. But what is happening now today in Mali? Who can do anything? Can ECOWAS do anything? What is happening in Burkina Faso? What is happening in Guinea-Conakry?
And
are we talking about time limit now in Guinea-Conakry?
No, but one of the reasons,
are we talking about
one of the reasons,
what can they do?
One of the reasons,
the citizens of Guinea-Conakry, Burkina Faso, and Mali are dealing with the situation. That's why we want the international community, like what they are doing, to support us in our democratization process. We use our brain, we use our negotiations, we use our dialogues until we reach to the point where we want to reach.
Even in those areas,
you guys are monopolizing the whole
discussion. No, but you took more time. No.
ECOWAS, even in those
even he took my time.
But even in those places,
observe what you guys are
even in those places, ECOWAS is really pressurizing them to return to the barracks. To return to, the civilian authority.
That's what I'm telling you.
In those countries.
That's what I'm telling you. But
and part of the problem in Guinea, particularly, is because of this 3rd term business.
This 3rd term business.
Yes. So that is why ECOWAS is recommending that we go for 2nd term so that we can prevent problems such as in Guinea. And ECOWAS court were here. Every year they hold their international conference. And one of the experts said here that, look, civilians who rely on constitutional loopholes to elongate their tenure in office are equally culprit as the soldier who took up arms to overthrow a government.
It's the same.
He said it here. They said it in Banjul here 1 month ago.
They didn't say, I mean, the first person to say that was Umar Sissoko Mbalo.
There you go.
I
He's
recall.
hosting the ECOWAS.
I recall when there was...
Tomorrow he will be the chairman who's hosting this.
Umar Sissoko was the first to pronounce that.
Exactly.
During their conference. Yeah. And he said that. Yeah. He said we should respect our constitutions. Exactly. We should respect what is stated in our constitution, that is our term limit. But what I'm telling you here, Gambia, that's why I said we are on our democratization process. So we are correct. You cannot just judge us the way you can judge Senegal.
I mean, I think...
No, but nobody... It's not the same.
No, listen, nobody is saying that president... No, I'm going to go over that, but nobody is saying that... Let's
because I have some counter...
Yeah.
I mean...
Give says first.
I think
to be honest with you, I have been Balo in this case.
Okay,
the Constitution says...
No, I mean...
So, it's limitless, we are going to be limitless.
You know, I think...
I am with Sehu in this one.
Okay.
Although I have
let's
some
listen to it. We'll come down.
So,
okay, Seth, go ahead.
I think Mr. Mbalo is trying to, you know, remind us of the history and all those different stuff. But I think one of the things that we are forgetting here, especially within the case of Gambia, I mean, I agree in terms of the law. Our law, I mean, we are saying it's a non-issue. For me, I'm saying like this term limit for us, as based on our current law, it's a non-issue. But when it comes to President Adama Barrow, it's an issue. Why is it an issue? When he was coming in 2016, he gave a history about that. He was not coming here to do anything but to end self-perpetuating rule. And when you're talking about term limits, you are talking about ending self-perpetuating rule. What he did in the first 3 years, it was going to be 3 years. Oh, I'm going to be here, transition, 3 years, I go. So we say, okay, 3 years. Oh, now the constitution say 5 years. We know what the constitution say. The constitution is our constitution. But what is it that the people want? The people want term limit. They don't want to live. We talk about the history of Jawara. We talk about Jammeh. 56, almost 60 years. We have only 3 presidents. This is what the people are talking about. I agree where he says it's also a generational issue. I was 9 years old when Jammeh was coming into power. And there are a lot of, today in terms of the population of this country, it's about 70% are young people. And young people would not want to sit in their half of their life and see only one president. And that is clear. And where I also agree is that now, for us, within our case, the only way to solve the issue is during elections. If we are going with this 1997 constitution, people can either vote or agree, because then it will become a referendum. But for me, the point that he is missing is the fact that, one, President Barrow promised a term ending self-perpetuating rule. Secondly, he promised term limits within a new constitution. Of course, a new constitution was killed by the National Assembly, but who are the people at the National Assembly that killed that? That's another debate. So for me, in terms of Gambia, if we're discussing about term limit, we need to look at it where we're coming from. And here, there was a promise, there was a history, and today we can measure where we are today. We're talking about, okay, we're going to promise a new constitution. If it comes again, it will be the same debate. For me, this is about political decision, having a political will and an interest to say that, of course, in the history of this country, we want to leave a legacy. And, winning elections here is not a legacy. The legacy that one can leave is to understand that there was something that was missing here, and everybody in this country want that, and then I give it to them. And that is it. So the call is both on the moral side, but again, it's also delivering a promise. Because for me, I feel, our transition
was hijacked basically. One of the ministers of Macky Sall, one of his officials who was in Mecca at the time of his announcement, said that what President Sall told him was that, look, for me, I can argue that the Constitution still permits me, but my own words and promises doesn't permit me. He said Macky Sall told him that.
But then again,
he said Macky Sall told him that. So whether or not that was, whether or
Constitution says no, it's final. He campaigned on that and it's over.
He himself said
they have a new constitution.
He himself said that.
Let me come in briefly. We have quoted Jawara's era. That went for
32 years.
32.
Over
30 years. Likewise, Senghor was in power for over 20 years. And then Jammeh came. I was there in 1994. In fact, I authored the speech in 1994 with the assistance of Swaibu Konate, who gave me pointers, and I wrote it. And in that speech, we talk about 2-term limit. We all agree. When the Constitution was even drafted, 1997, it was included that there will be 2-term limit. It was the junta that took it out at the last minute, and because the Gambia wanted transition and didn't want to stay in a military regime, they voted for it. You know, but definitely, if the Gambians had said that what we all agreed upon was to have term limit, you know, in fact, it was a perfect constitution because the whole Gambia was consulted. That is why I believe that there was no need for a new constitution when Barrow came. They could have gone back to the original document, which one of the lawyers
amended.
No, which one of the lawyers who was part of the Constitutional Review Commission said he has the original copy on touch. They should have put that on the table and see everything that was put into corrupted and remove it.
Absolutely.
And submit it to the people.
But you know that like constitutional building, that require consultation. That was 20 years ago.
Yes.
I did not participate in that.
Yes,
you know,
I know.
And now so there's a generational issue that also need to be considered.
I agree. But
and that's why the process
the
that
American Constitution has been here since when?
200.
It's always been amended. The good things that are there, the bad things that are there are changed over time. I think that Constitution was good enough to be maintained. In fact, I was even saying that the 1972 Constitution was great, except that there was no time limit. There was no time limit.
1970.
Yeah, the 70 Constitution by Jawara was wonderful because in that Constitution, I think democracy is more pronounced than the type of Constitution we have after Jawara. Because in those days, for you to become actively involved in the government, you will have to go and campaign, win a constituency, and be able to hold it.
Yeah, that was a parliamentary system.
Yes,
different,
which I think goes with the kind of government that goes with democracy. The one we have, 1997, is more leaning more on an autocratic line because you can pick anybody and fire and hire. Sometimes you don't even know the capability of a person and you put him in a position. And sometimes he doesn't deliver, but only because when he mess up, the people will come around and say, and then you keep him there.
Yeah.
But you know, you will always have an excuse to weed the politicians who are not helping you.
All right, let's stay with
that
this.
said.
Yeah.
No, let's just conclude my. I mean, like I want to come to the term limit. I said, okay, we want to keep the constitution as it is. Jawara, like I said, we wanted to change the constitution in 1997. It did not happen, and but now what we are talking about in ECOWAS is that Anglophone countries have won the trophy. Anglophone countries were known to be the champion of coup d'etat.
Yeah.
Francophone countries were more stable. Senegal being the model of the models.
Absolutely.
You know. So, but then I have just a document I have now called the Falana Recommendation. He's a civil rights and lawyer in Nigeria who submitted to ECOWAS in 2022 the desire to reinforce the need to have 2 terms limit. But he went on to explain why. Because he said the self-perpetuating rule is what is inviting the soldiers to seize power.
Yeah.
And anybody who doesn't respect it is as culpable in corrupting the system as the soldiers. And that is why he recommends, you know, like, in fact, in that document, they are saying that 3 countries only oppose the recommendation.
Yeah.
Senegal, Togo, and Ivory Coast.
Yes.
Gambia did not oppose
Yeah, I saw that one.
I have it right here.
Yeah, Gambia did.
So that
That
tells
was an
you
improvement.
that it is even possible that President Barrow,
that's why I said
because when it comes to that is why
I think the issue,
I said the issue the transition.
the issue has always been,
yes,
President Barrow had always said he believes in 2 terms.
Yes.
And term limit.
Yes.
He believes in that.
and it is possible.
But the question has always been, where does his belief start? The first one, or from 2021?
You see today.
So that's where the problem. So now, what in the light of what Macky Sall did,
yes,
pressure that is piling on him is that,
yes,
fine, isn't it now time now for you to be magnanimous and consider your this term as your second one, despite the fact that you don't have a time limit and your new constitution is going to set up time limit that you want to start with your this term.
But
so it's a question of morality and a decision that President Barrow has to take.
Circumstances. The situation will dictate whether he is going to go for a third term or not when it comes to the tail end of this regime.
Yes.
Because I want to tell you one thing. Did you ever question why Jawara said he wanted to step down in 1991?
December 1991 in Mansakonko.
In Mansakonko.
Did you?
No, but
because the conditions were so appalling that Jawara knew that continuing this regime was a threat to his life.
Within his party.
Twice, not only the party,
even
twice. For the first time in the history of army, you see soldiers in the streets with their guns demonstrating for their allowance to be paid.
Yeah, in 91.
Twice, 90 and 91.
Yeah.
I was at Yundum Barracks when the soldiers erupted with their guns saying they must be paid.
Yeah.
What I learned from those two incidents was that these were planned coup d'etats in Liberia, and they only failed because the officers who incited the soldiers fell back the day it was supposed to take place. They looked for them, they were nowhere. And the NCOs and the soldiers did the run to Banjul to get their payments. So you see, by then Jawara was aware that something
There's a lot of disillusionment.
There was so much negative vibration in the environment that he genuinely wanted to leave. But he did not consult anybody. He surprised his
But like
team.
you said, people wonder whether he genuinely mean it. Because
But because at some point, he people pressurize him. Like Sabali brought all the imams. They went to there and say, God said, it's not time for you to go.
Sycophants.
And Jawara came with that nonsense statement. God said it's time to go. And he was
Mr. Cham,
laughed at
what he's saying, I mean, we all learn from that. He's during the PPP, what happened to Jawara in Mansakonko. Though I was young, but I fully remember what happened. With the problems that were existing at that time within the PPP, the infighting even within the PPP, it was visible everywhere. Everybody was questioning, can Jawara solve this problem within the PPP? Bibi Dabo is over there. Sekou Sabali is pulling this thing on the other side. Nobody knows what is going on. And the power was so relaxed. People were questioning. And also, like he said, the army, with people were not satisfied everywhere. They were neglected everywhere. So that also encouraged, facilitated such such an undemocratic move in this country. And we all learned from it. People suffered. Because of that few people, with action of few people, action of PPP made every Gambian to suffer. With what happened. I'm sorry that he's my brother and he was in that regime, but we all know what happened. I don't want to say that now. That is history and we are all the same. But we should, Gambians, that's why I said we will use our head, this generational thing. We want to use our heads. We want to communicate. We want to dialogue, promote our democratization process until we reach at where we reach. The whole world applaud Gambia. What we did. They respected us. That we were there, Gambians were outside, working with Gambians here on the ground. We were pulling our wages. We go and work, send money to people so that it's not that we hated Jammeh, it's not that we hated somebody, but we wanted a civilized nation. That's why we did. And that we have achieved that. Do you think we will go about to destroy that? We will not do it. Koto Sam is somebody, is very intelligent somebody. We all know that. He loves this country. He's a patriotic. It's not that he is here. I have been with him in the United States.
I know.
I know. So this country, what I'm assuring you, Mr. Cham, is that we will reach where where we are aiming at. The question now is, it would not be fair what you are initiating now about the transition to the county, starting the counting. Maybe that's where the problem is.
Yeah, that's where the problem is. I mean, that's what everybody says.
But there is no doubt. President Arab Barrow has said it. I am going to make sure there is
term limit
in this country, and he mean it. President Barrow, let me tell you, President Barrow is not hungry for power. I will tell you that today. You see what happened recently. When he met with the Bandulian. And he started telling, he said,
In fact,
I am starting. Didn't that bring even suspicion everywhere that this man is going to leave us? He's going.
In fact, we wanted clarity.
Barrow is not hungry for power. I must make that very clear.
We want clarity on that. When President Barrow now listen, when he met the Banjul Muslim elders,
yes,
he spoke in terms of life after presidency.
Yes.
He said Jawara and Jammeh were here, they left, and he would go.
Yes.
And started suggesting that his departure probably might be imminent by saying that one, he was going for humanitarian services,
he has started.
and that the office for such a humanitarian service is being built. People he he's identifying people who are going to work in that board. Many people interpreted that that is suggesting that his departure is imminent. But when he went to Kunting in Nyani,
yes,
he suggested that, okay, they are saying that we're going to win. We will wait what we will do to them in 2026.
Yeah.
People said, wow, this man is not going anywhere. He's now saying that he's going to be around and he's going to beat the opposition in 2016. People...
Not 2016.
2026. People around the party, such as Suleiman Kamal, the communications, and Demba Sabali told us in this forum that President Barrow will be their candidate in 2026. Which one do we believe? What he said to the Banjul Islamic leaders, or what he said in...
No, listen, I want
clarity on that.
Can you allow me a minute? No, because I have an answer for that.
Now let him
allow him.
Allow me. I have an answer.
He has a point of order. Let him come in.
But
this is important.
You cannot have
more
authoritative than this man.
No, why not? Why not? I am, of course, a progressive observer.
I have given a point of order. He wants to come. No. Just allow him.
No, because Cham is trying to corner you. Look,
Gambians want authority.
I am the brother here. Balo, I think Cham is trying to corner you.
But Cham, you must be fair to the panel.
Let me take the answer.
Before coming in, if he has a point of order,
I have the answer, and Cham wants to corner you. No, but I have the answer. Leave me to give my answer.
But which one do we?
Leave me.
Can you just allow me before I come in?
I don't ask.
If I come, it's going to take time. I might take time, longer time. Allow him to come 2 minutes.
Not long ago he was complaining that you are taking 2 times. So now he wants to come. Tell the people, which one do we believe? Is he going 2026 or he is going? Tell us.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Thank you, Mr.
Which one do we believe? The Kunting meeting or the Banjul meeting?
During the Kunting meeting.
Yes.
During the State House meeting with elders.
Elders, yes.
There is nowhere where he stated that I am ending my term here after 2020. He didn't say that. Did he say that?
No.
He never said that.
But he suggested.
No, he said that.
Suggested that his departure might be imminent.
He met the Americans.
A departure can be any time.
Because things that he's going to do are already been done now.
Yeah.
We suggesting, people are assuming that if his intention was to be here up to 2030, he probably will not be talking like that.
No. People misquote him, or they misunderstood what he was saying. He was telling people, the way he expressed it, he said, listen, nobody owns a country. He said, Jawara was here, he has served his term, he's gone. President Jammeh was here, he has served his term, he's gone. I am also here, I will leave. In fact, I have started my preparation. That's what he said. He said, when I leave, what I'm thinking to do is to work on humanitarian, helping Gambians. I will sacrifice my life helping the Gambians. He said that's what he said. That's all. People went on. They say, oh, Jammeh. Even our party members, people started saying that Jammeh, Barrow might even resign now. This might want to go.
So now, even if anybody,
so he had to come.
So if anybody is in any illusion, has any illusion as to when he was going, the Kuntin meeting you are telling us now made it clear that he's going to stay until 2020.
The Kuntin meeting, he made it very clear
that he's going to be here for 2020.
That the people have asked him the same question you are asking. You see the question you are asking?
Yeah.
That participate. That is the one that that invites him to make clarification.
So now
because everybody was coming to elders, opinion leaders, Mr. President. We heard that you are saying that you have started parking. Some are even telling you started parking. Some are telling us now you want to resign, you are tired.
Now,
is that true?
Let me ask you one more question.
So he had to make it very clear.
Before we get some, people want to know. All right? A lot of people, including people from his party, NPP, wanted to believe that that statement he made in Banjul was actually insinuating that he might soon be going. That was the interpretation.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
In Kunting, he made it clear that I will be staying as well. In fact, even that is not very clear, but at least he said that what we're going to do with the opposition in 2026 is worse. Whether he's going to be there or not, he didn't specifically say that.
Yeah.
But he said they're going to do something to the opposition in 2026.
In 2026.
Now, people want to. What do you think about this other school of thought? That Mr. Barrow actually sincerely want to go in 2026, but people in his party, in the NPP, are now pressurizing him not to go, let him contest in 2026, because only him stand a chance against the opposition. So against his will now, they are building pressure on him to contest. Is that the case?
That's not the case.
So if he stands in 2026, it will be his sole decision, not pressure from his party.
That is accepting, that is, let me tell you.
Macky Sall.
No, give me, allow me.
At the moment.
No, we are talking about Gambia right now. We have moved away from Senegal.
He's not been
we have moved away from Senegal.
So he's not been pressurized.
He's not been pressurized. President Adama Barrow, as like I said, he's a good listener. And the politics is something that goes gradually.
I see.
That goes gradually. If before 2026, any circumstances, anything can happen. We are all human beings.
Yeah.
Let me tell you that.
Yeah.
Barrow knows that he is a human being. Do we know whether we will live? Let me give myself as an example.
Okay.
Do we know whether Seumbalo will live up to 2026?
So moving forward, you are saying that politics
do we know
evolves.
whether
from now against 2026, you've seen anything can happen. But for now,
but for now,
yeah.
According to the Gambian people,
according to his party,
according to the opinion that we are also, our party is collecting,
yes.
that they want him to be the candidate in 2026,
yeah.
and he will be our candidate for 2026.
So in other words, now the party's interest is for him to...
Not only the party.
No, listen.
Not only the party. Even people outside of his party are advocating for that.
You admitted that there started having divisions in the party.
No, I didn't say division. I said people started asking him.
Even his party.
I said they started misunderstanding his statement at the meeting of the Banjul.
We had senior officials of the party suggesting that if he is going, he should really put the house in order if he is going, if he is not contesting. So meaning that there are people, key members of your party, who believe that he was going.
No senior officer believed that he was going.
But they say that if he is going.
No senior officer believed that.
Do you believe that his statements really caused a division in your party?
It didn't cause a division, but it caused... It needed clarification, and he did.
So now
it only needed clarification. So there was no division.
He did that. He did the clarification in Kunting so that he can put his lieutenants together because they were being divided.
Not to clarify, not about
so for the interest of the party,
let me
he
say
will do as Macky Sall did, which is to keep quiet until the writer.
No. I am not. You are initiating
that. That is the strategy.
You are the one initiating
Sam,
that. I never said that.
No, I'm asking whether that's the strategy.
You are cruel.
I'm not cruel. I'm asking the question. I am asking whether that's the strategy.
He is trying to.
He's trying to
associate.
No, I'm trying to say.
Okay, what I want to say is the way I look at the first pronunciation of President Barrow about his intention to really follow his predecessors like Jame and so on, and is that he wanted to tell them that, hey, well, someday I'm going to leave. He did not definitively say when.
No.
Although the conventional wisdom was that he's going to leave 2026. Until I even heard Sonko of Senegal quoting him. I heard it. Sonko saying that even Barrow is talking about leaving after second term. That is when he was praising Anglophone countries for doing the same thing. I heard it.
Okay.
You know.
So it was not only Gambians who misinterpreted.
The general concept derived from that statement was that he may not go beyond 2026, especially when he said, I am preparing my men, my ground,
even my structures have been built.
And he was speaking local language.
And he was speaking
local language, good.
So no misunderstanding.
Yes. So now, but then, soon after, if Senegal can perceive the concept like that, most Gambians likewise, we are doing the same thing.
Exactly.
And it's not healthy for your political base.
So that is why he came.
It's not healthy for your political foundation. He probably in this, the following day started learning that something has fractured in the
party.
In the party.
Mr. Malo doesn't want to admit that.
And in order, no.
That was not the reason.
That may not be the thing, but it could be. But I would definitely support him if he realized that and started to
make amends.
Fix it.
To make amends.
Fix it, because it will be very unwise for him to sit down and tell his people, if he is sending signals, he's going, and then power struggle comes and he say, you better fight your way, or you better impress my way, because I'm going anyway. It's going to be left. It's not going to be healthy for him for the next 3 years.
Macky Sall style. Pure. I mean, President Buhari said it from the word go.
Yeah, because
and that doesn't spoil his
administration. No.
President
Do you know why Nigeria? What happened in Nigeria? Obasanjo was the first one who tried to really undermine the third term.
I know about it, but Buhari made it clear.
They made it clear to him that he cannot go.
Exactly, we are aware of that.
So after that,
Buhari,
people don't even think about it anymore.
Exactly. But Buhari.
So this is it.
But Buhari made it clear.
Yes.
He told his lieutenants from the war when he was being sworn in for the second time.
Yeah, because he knows that his predecessor.
No, the thing is,
his predecessor was stopped at day one.
I know, but he was being patriotic and very clear to the Nigerians that let nobody.
No. It is just respecting what is
That's
on
what I'm saying.
Look, if
Macky Sall,
Obama was found to be one of the most popular presidents in America.
Yeah.
If Obama was to wait until about September, November is coming, and he said, okay, I will quit. I'm not going to go for the wrong time. You know what will happen that time?
That was second time.
No. What I'm saying is, Obama went for 2 terms.
Yes.
But what I'm saying is, the constitution is so final, nobody questioned that.
Exactly.
If Obama was to come about 6 months before the end of his term and say, all right, Americans, don't worry, this is my last time, I'm going. Don't worry about whether I'm going to go for 3rd term. They will take him to a hospital to check his head.
That's unthinkable.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yes.
So, but we are still evolving.
Yes.
Before, there was no term limit.
Yes.
Senegal and Gambia.
Yeah.
Macky Sall fought it in Wada's case, but Wada still blew the whole deal because he initiated it.
Yes.
But he blew it.
Yeah.
Macky almost blew it.
Almost similar way.
If Macky conducts a good election,
yes,
of which Senegal chooses a president
without blocking anybody,
he
would win the Nobel Prize.
The next president will not even discuss term limits.
He will not. And that's what Gambians want Barrow to do.
That's legacy.
And that's what they want Barrow to do.
Lamin,
that is why everybody's recommending that Barrow, who came on the back of a brutal dictatorship, should have been the one who should lay that kind of foundation that you are talking about. He has the opportunity to say, look, everything that should be corrected, I should be the one who should leave that as a legacy.
Do you know what is great about Barrow's situation?
No, listen careful.
You know what is great about Barrow's situation?
That's why people are saying, Mr. Barrow, please continue. Don't be distracted by your opponents teasing you or taunting you, or your sycophants, going after you. Just continue. Lay down this foundation and say, look, if we want successive presidents coming to do as we said, let me do this example. Nobody will go outside that. Let me say 2 terms starting from me. That's my legacy. Who is the president who is the first ever president who did a 2 term in the Gambia? To be Barrow.
Yes.
If he starts like that, everybody, and that's left to him. Nobody's forcing him like Mr. Barrow said, because the constitution is not forcing him. But at the end of it, the boss stops at him. Macky Sall could have disagreed with everybody and throw his heart into it. He said it. He said he believed the constitution allow him. But he took the gentleman and patriotic stand. People are saying whether Barrow is capable of doing that or not. That's what
because do you know what I'm saying?
Nobody is forcing Barrow.
One more observation is that, excuse me, is that, like the environment he has created.
Yes. Who has created?
Barrow's government. What they have inherited compared to what is being institutionalized right now.
Yes.
And the freedom to discuss it.
Yes.
And stretch it to its limit.
Yes.
Still provides the possibility of somebody coming up with a story that will get into his head someday, and he does the same thing. But at this juncture, looking at how things are evolving, I don't think it is going to be too progressive
for him,
particularly. Not only for everybody,
even for everybody,
to start telling Gambians that, hey, brace up for my last term. It's not good. I don't think it's good.
So
Even if he wants to do it,
yeah.
let him keep it confidential. But he has created a wonderful, conducive environment for people to stretch everything.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
So at the end of it, you are telling us that, okay, let's move on as a nation, work very hard in our various capacities, and just look at what happens in 2026.
I mean, you see, one of the things, you know, when for me, I usually take a different position when I'm arguing. You know, I look at the person, you know, in terms of the conversation and what he promised, and that's why I was going back to 2016.
Yes.
I mean, the other time somebody asked me whether Barrow was going to contest before he made this announcement. I mean, I said for me, I'm not gonna take lightly whatever President Barrow say he's gonna do, because for me, what I've been seeing him do lately since the 2016 is sending mixed signal. I mean, thinking like he's still a politician, that, you know, he can say whatever he wants and then it flows just like that. Yeah. For me, I think that's one of the mistakes that he keep making. But for me, the issue of term limits within our context, it must be situated within the promise that was made by Coalition 2016. We cannot move away from there.
Yeah, I see.
That was to end self-perpetuating rule.
Yes.
And in this country, this is what people are demanding.
Yes.
Whenever you do a survey, whatever you do, we did during the constitutional process, we asked people why they were voting for a new constitution with the IRI, and almost 87% of the population said they were going to vote because of the issue of term limit. And what killed our constitution when it got there, it was the issue of term limit.
Term limit, yeah.
And somebody promised us again that they're going to bring a new constitution, and now we are questioning when is this term going to start, when it's going to end. So for me, even the same issue is going to come up. Yeah. But what that shows is, one, there is no transition. There is no transition in this country. Yeah. We keep saying, okay, transition, because transition must have a timeline. Where's the timeline?
It's not.
So there's no transition. So we're saying
there was a transition in 2016.
Yeah, but then it was over. It was the fact.
When all the parties were, all the parties had a stake on that government.
I mean, but there is no transition. For me, there was a timeline, and the timeline was dismissed. It was hijacked. That's the term that I keep using. So therefore, we did not have all these reforms that we were talking about was supposed to be there. So for me today,
a transition is when you bring sometimes, for example, an acting government, like an acting president.
When the elephant fight, who suffer? The grass.
Honestly, they have not been transitioned.
When you make,
why I'm arguing for this?
Because all of them were fighting. All the coalition members.
There was a big push and pull. It doesn't change the fact that there was a
Gambia has one of the strongest democracies within the sub-region. Yes, in terms of practice. Yeah. But our laws are unfortunately, I mean, they are old, they are not in line with our thinking. They are, every sector you touch, we are talking about this reform process. Yeah. And that's why the constitution is critical. But already, this President Barrow's statement right now is already sending signal that even if a new constitution comes in, the issue of time limit is going to be an issue. An issue that is likely going to kill that. Because again, the same issue that they were debating is the same issue that is coming up again in this conversation.
I don't think that will happen.
For me, what I want,
that's
what we keep hearing. But then at the end of the day, we see what happens. Absolutely. The opposite. But for me, the other thing is, are Gambians ready? Because he mentioned, it's at the end of the day, President Barrow, there is nothing that is stopping him. Yeah. The constitution is clear, there is no time limit, he can run. Yeah. But for me, one of the things that I feel like Gambians have learned and then they have developed is the power of their vote. To end self-perpetuating rule relies on
the Gambian people.
On the Gambian people.
So
and whoever wants to contest, let them contest as much as as stated by the constitution. Is the people, if the Gambians are interested in ending self-perpetuating rule, it's their business. If they don't want, if they want it to continue, it's also their business. Yeah. So, but at the end of the day, like this argument here and there, transition, we need to rethink about those issues. Because for me, I mean, I think it's just more of political conversation rather than really what we experience.
Good, Mr. Mbala, I give you the last one. What can we expect from President Barrow, and in your capacity as political advisor to him in the coming years leading up to 2026?
Mr. Cham, first, I must tell you that I am very happy, like I said from the beginning, that today we can sit here comfortably. That's why we have Kerr Fatou, we have your Bantaba, every day talking about whatever they want to talk about.
Just say every day people are criticizing the government.
Criticizing the
That's
government.
what you want to say.
You hear some, yesterday I was on my bed, I heard somebody saying, Umbalo went and gave 6 million to the Fula youth during at the Pencham.
You must be very rich.
My wife said, listen to this. I said, you want to sleep?
You must be very rich. You must be very rich.
Umbalo don't have even $5 in his pocket. They say Umbalo went with 6 million and gave it to the youth, Fula youth, Union Fula. I said, it's democracy. The country is democracy now. People do what they want. But, Mr. Cham, Gambians should focus.
Absolutely.
What I mean by Gambians should focus is they should make sure that what they have should not slide away from them.
Good.
Today, everywhere you go to the United States, they will tell you, congratulations, Gambia, you are one. We want Gambia to teach other countries how the way
so Macky
you are
Macky want to steal our soul then.
Macky, I think, has lost that.
How you are doing our.
With this announcement, he's now been pressed everywhere. I had the United Nations Secretary General.
So it is the responsibility. It is the responsibility of we, the Gambians, to make sure that we promote our this democracy that we have. Thank God we have somebody there, President Arrow. It's not that because I am his special advisor on politics.
Everybody knows.
But President Adam Barrow, I can tell you, he's not power hungry.
Yeah.
He's not power. He will tell you that, listen, me, I want to live like I want to be with the people. Sit down at the Bantaba there.
Yeah, obviously.
When I leave, I'll be sitting down at the Bantaba with the people. That's what he will tell you when you are chatting with him.
That's right.
Somebody like that, do you know that he is not hungry to stay and enjoy that flamboyant life?
No, for me, what I cannot get, this argument is not hungry. Huh?
So,
but you promised people before. Like he's not hungry. Like for me, I see promise and then there's no other promise. But where's not the hungry part for me?
But Seth, let's be fair here.
Yes.
If there is some things correct, there are reforms that he is carrying. We have all seen the reforms that are going on right now, and they are ongoing. And also this term limiting, he has told the Gambians that I will make sure that we have a constitution.
You believe that?
The constitution was thrown in the National Assembly.
Allegedly.
I know what happened.
No.
I know what happened.
So please, let's work together as Gambians and make sure that we reach at the end. Like I said, from here up to 2026, only God knows what would happen. Though, if the Gambian people can wish Cham to be a candidate, they might wish Dabo to be a candidate,
or Samsar,
or Mama Kande. But who knows what is going to happen? No, I said Gambians might wish that, but who knows? Who knows what would happen? Who knows what would happen?
And in the meantime, let's enjoy the beautiful.
Exactly. I think that is what is important.
No, for me, I'm not comfortable. I'm not comfortable yet. I mean, I agree with all the good things that we are enjoying, especially this debate. I mean, look at us, like presidential advisor.
Yeah.
You know, you're talking like for us.
We talk like.
So I mean,
if you were to go to another people, we don't see you.
Yeah,
I know.
So usually, you know, so these are the good things. But for me, my fear is that we might not be able to sustain this until we get a constitution, you know, that is, you know, that is in line with all this vision. I mean, for us, all of us, we agree on the democratic process and all that. But what is missing is a constitution, and we're having laws that are 1950, 1942, 1924. I mean, you in practice, you are seeing things are moving, but they are not sustainable. Tomorrow, government can say this is what the law is saying, like they are arguing with the constitution now, saying that the constitution say unlimited, we can be a billion-year president, and they can use the same.
Definitely need to be.
No, for me, I think the only way, you know, one way that President Barrow, with all the good things, you know, and this is my advice, that the best way for him to leave a legacy that he's talking about is to bring this country a new constitution. Because at the end of the day, nobody will forget that. A new constitution that is acceptable. Nobody will forget that.
Yeah, we finish with you.
I want to say this, that it's not only about term limit. It's not only about term limit. Somebody has to come with a vision that is going to change the status quo as preserved since independence. the status quo, the way of doing things, business as usual. Elect the person, give them power, give them luxuries, let them not be accountable, nothing is checked, started since PPP days. If we have a leader who combines this idea of reforming that kind of administrative, archaic administration with term limit, the youth will listen to it and perceive it and conceive it well. And that is what made Sonko
appealing to
a different politician in Senegal. Since 1960,
they haven't got a type like it.
Senegalese have had this kind of administration predicated on French support, French endorsement. Up to this day, Senegal is part of the Francophone countries that every year will take a chunk of their money and save it in the Central Bank of France and be taking loans from there. The resources of Senegal and most of these Francophone countries cannot be sold to any country without France endorsing it.
Yeah, I know.
And the France CFA, the CFA, is only valuable in these Francophone countries and is backed by the Central Bank of France. And, it's useless in France.
I
now,
understand.
Sonko came and said that we are going to revise this. It's not sustainable and it's not helping our economy. We have to negotiate our own terms and, if necessary, even change our own currency. And that's what Mali is doing right now.
So the bigger picture is that...
that is why Sonko appealed a lot to the younger generation
That's it.
of politicians.
I mean, he's the populist type of politician who came and galvanized people on an agenda that even the West are alarmed by his policies.
Thank you.
Hence his troubles.
I mean, there's a lot of grievance among young people.
Hence the troubles.
Perhaps that person is yet to emerge and appeal perhaps to the Gambians for them to say, he might be better than Adama Barrow, But so far, Adama Barrow is on top of the chart. Let's go.
Thank you.
He said thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you
Brunch.
over there, everybody. The brunch will be back, inshallah, next week. Goodbye for now. See you later.
Thank you.
We live in a day and age where technology is creating a world without borders, filled with unlimited potential to improve the lives of the people around us. Innovarex Global Health ushers in a new way of leveling the playing field with increased access to quality healthcare services delivered at your doorstep. Our qualified professionals are equipped with state-of-the-art point-of-care testing technology to conduct tests such as kidney function, liver function, electrolyte tests, body composition, hemoglobin, A1C, and many more services with the highest efficiency in delivering results. The addition to our flagship Wellness on Wheels, more fondly known as WOW Delivery Service, brings the entire clinical experience full circle. IGH has remained committed to creating the future of healthcare delivery. Gone are the days of sending loved ones outside the country for basic medical services. Innovarex Global Health offers a new peace of mind and takes pride in delivering the quality of care we all deserve.
Islamic microfinance is becoming an increasingly popular mechanism for poverty alleviation. especially for developing countries around the world. This microfinance service adheres to the principles of Islam as a form of social responsibility. Yona Islamic Microfinance is the Islamic microfinance of choice in the Gambia, trustworthy and reliable. At Yona Islamic Microfinance, we provide savings products, current accounts, financing products in conformity with Islam. In addition, Yona Islamic Microfinance also offers local and international remittances, takaful fund, management of zakat, management of awqaf, trading and investment, and building of strategic partnerships to bring financial services to the doorstep of the poor with donor projects, madrasas, youth organizations, women groups, and farmer organizations. Make a choice with Yona Islamic Microfinance today. For more information on Yona Islamic Microfinance, call 377-2151 or 9832-151 or visit Yona head office at Tipa Garage, Bakote, or visit any Yona branch located countrywide near you.